Hello and welcome. In this video, I will give you an overview of the different types of income, including earned income, investment income, retirement income, and other unearned income. So you may say, so many, and do you have to know them all? Well, as a tax preparer, you must be familiar with these four types of income. For earned income, this will include all the taxable income and wages you get from working for someone else, yourself, or from a business. And it's going to be reported on W-2s, 1099 miscellaneous, 1099 NECs, cash income, and tips. Investment income includes interest and dividends, which are on the 1099 interest, 1099 dividends, and also 1099Bs and K1s. Retirement income includes 1099 SSA, which is the Social Security benefits, and 1099R. Other unearned income is the 1099G for unemployment, alimony, W2G for gambling winnings, and other income. We do have sources of support that are not included on a tax return. And therefore, these non-taxable sources are not reported to the IRS, which will include aid to families with dependent children, food stamps or CalFresh, child support, federal income tax refunds, gifts, inheritance or bequests, insurance proceeds, interest on tax-free securities, funds for qualified higher education, social security benefits, but a portion may not be taxable, supplemental security income, temporary assistance for needy families, welfare or CalWorks, and veterans benefits. So how to know income amounts? Well, a taxpayer will bring you a lot of forms when it's their tax appointment. And these forms are usually prepared by the employers, banks, and other government agencies. The taxpayer will receive these forms in the mail around January 30th. But the most common that you will see are the W-2s, 1099 interest, and 1099 miscellaneous or NECs as well. And what you have to do is you just need to copy the amounts from each box on the form and transfer into TaxSlayer, which is the software that we use for tax preparation. And it's always important to ask about cash income just to get a complete information from the client and be able to enter all the income amounts that they received. And when do we combine income? Well, most of the time we combine income when the taxpayers are legally married, filing a joint return. If both taxpayers have income, they may come to you with multiple forms. For example, as we can see here, maybe the husband has two W-2 forms, but the wife has only a 1099 interest form. Well, when you enter these income amounts into the software will combine the amounts and transfer it to the Form 1040, which is the tax return, and it will give a description on where these amounts are reported. For example, line 1 for W-2s and line 2 for 1099 interest. When do we not combine income? Well, if a parent or a couple have a dependent and that dependent has their own income, the parents cannot claim that income on their tax return. The dependent has to file their own taxes to be able to claim that income. The parents cannot combine their dependent's income with their own income. This is an example of how a W-2 form looks like. This W-2 form includes the taxpayer's social security number, employee's identification number, the taxpayer's wages, which will be reported on box number 1, and also it will include any federal income tax withheld on box number 2. It is also important to enter the state information, which will be lines 15 through 17. And on tax layer, to enter the income information, you go to the federal section on the menu option and income. You will see that the first option will be W-2. So to start entering the amounts, you click on begin. Likewise, you can also look for a specific form by using the box on the left side of the screen. You just enter the form number or the name of the form you're looking for, and then you will be able to access it. Once you click on the W-2 and are ready to start entering the W-2 information, you will see the employee and employer sections. You have to select whose W-2 this belongs to on the employee section if it is multiple taxpayers, and then on the employer section you just have to transfer all the information that you have on the W-2 form, which will be identification numbers, names, and then you can start entering all the income amounts. So as you can see, box number one corresponds to box number one on tax layer, and box number two on the form. It's box number two on tax layer. So you just have to follow along the form and you will be able to enter all the amounts. If the taxpayer receives in-home supported services or IHSS income, they may now decide to exclude it from their gross income by applying a Medicaid waiver. If the taxpayer and the person they are taking care of live together, then the IHSS income is not taxable, but it is still included as earned income for the calculation of the California Earned Income Tax Credit. If the taxpayer and the person they take care of live together, we can waive the income on the W-2. And to do so, we enter the amount in box 1 as a negative value in the Medicaid waiver payment box. Now we move on to investment income. Investment income includes interest and dividends. And the most common sources in which you will receive interest are your savings account and also loan interest. But if you receive dividends in the tax year, you will receive the form 1099 DIB in the mail, and it's going to report ordinary dividends and also qualified dividends. So as you can see, these are some screenshots of how the form looks like, so you get familiar with them and are ready to enter those on tax layer. So to enter the amounts on the software, you will see the option on the income section, and 1099 interest dividends, you will just click on begin. For the 1099 interest, the income amount, the interest income will be reported on box number one. And if for any reason they had any withdrawal penalty, then that will be box number two. But the interest income will be on box number one. So these are screenshots of the software. So you just have to enter the payer's name, and also you will be able to enter the interest income amount as well. So you just have to copy any of the amounts that you see on the form into the software. The 1099 dividend form will have the total ordinary dividends on box number one and qualified dividends on box number two. So as well, you will be able to see the payer's information, which may be any financial institution on the left side of the form, and also the taxpayers, which will be the client's information as well. And box number four is for any federal income tax withholdings that there may be. And on tax layer, it's the same thing. You just copy the amounts into the corresponding boxes. Now we move on to retirement income. Retirement income includes distributions from individual retirement accounts, IRAs. We also have annuities or pensions, which will be reported on Form 1099-R. We also have Social Security benefits, which is reported on SSA 1099 and might be taxable depending on the total income that is reported. And although supplemental security income is retirement income, it is not taxable and therefore it is not reported on a tax return. On tax layer, you will see the option to enter these amounts, this type of income. You just click on begin. And then to show you an example of a 1099-R form, we have here where you can see the gross distribution amount on box number 1, any taxable amounts on box number 2, federal income withheld on box number 4, and it's really important to look at box number 7. The code in this box tells you the type of distribution and whether it's taxable or if a penalty will be applied. And for a complete explanation of its distribution code, you can refer to publication 4012, tab D40. On the software, you just enter the information as you see it on the 1099-R form. Now we have Form SSA 1099, which is Social Security benefits. Like I mentioned before, these benefits become taxable when all the combined income exceed a base amount. For example, for taxpayers filing as single, their benefits become taxable if their total income exceeds $25,000. And for married couples, it becomes taxable if their income exceeds $32,000. So the taxable amount will depend on the filing status and the other sources of income that the clients will be reporting on the tax return. And to see what is the total amount that the client received during the year for Social Security benefits, you can see at box number 5. And if they have any withholdings, that will be reported on box number 6. And we do have a description box. So if they have any Medicare premiums deducted from their benefits, then that information will be included there. If there is no information, then it would be just empty. To enter the amounts on tax layer, you just copy what amounts you see on box number 5 and also any Medicare premiums. Now we have other types of income. Other types of income include the state and local refunds from previous years, alimony payments, unemployment, gambling winnings, duty, prizes, and awards. For state or local refunds, these will show on Form 1099-G, but do not confuse it with Unemployment 1099-G. Those are two different forms. And they will receive this form for state or local refunds only if they itemize deductions last year. And alimony, do not confuse it with child support. Alimony is different. And for gambling winnings, duty, unemployment, and prizes and awards, I will explain right now a little bit. Unemployment compensation. Unemployment is money paid to unemployed workers who lost their jobs due to layoff. So those people will receive the Form 1099-G. So if you are receiving unemployment income, those benefits are subject to taxes on the federal level, and the amount of your benefits will be shown on box number 1. And if you have any voluntary taxes, federal income tax withheld, that is going to be reported on box number 4. As you can see on the software on tax layer, you have the two options, 1099-G box 2 and 1099-G box 1. The first box is for state or local tax refunds. And the last one, the one you see at the bottom, box number 1, it's for unemployment compensation. So make sure that you select the right one. And then you just have to enter payer information and all the amounts that you see on the 1099-G form. Moving on to gambling winnings. If you receive a Form W-2G for gambling winnings, you must report the full amount of income on your tax return. Gambling income includes winnings at the casino, bingo, lottery, raffles, and all prizes. All gambling winnings are taxable. And it's also important to note that if you had any losses, those will be entered on your tax return and reported on Schedule A. But you can only deduct gambling losses up to the amount of the winnings. So once you have the W-2G form, you will see that box number 1 is going to report the winning amount. Box number 2, it's going to be the date that the winnings uh, were received by the taxpayer. Box number 3 is the type of wager. Number 4, if they have any federal income tax withholdings. And where do you enter this amount on TaxSlayer? Well, if you go to the bottom of the income section, you will see the option less common income. So once you click on begin, you will see the second option will say gambling winnings. So you can click on begin once again and you will be able to enter the amount there. And it's the same. You just transfer all the information from the form into the software. We have also duty duty. So duty duty is taxable income. So if you receive an end of the year statement stating that you received duty duty pay, you must report it as income. Also, any payment directly made to you that was not turned in into your employer, you have to report it. And this is going to be reported on other income on Schedule 1, line 8 of the tax return. We have prize or award money. So if you received at least $600 in prize or award money, you will be issued a Form 1099 miscellaneous. So the form will include the payer's information or the organization that is awarding the prize and the recipient's information. And the amount that you receive will be reported on box 3 as other income. On TaxSlayer, you will enter the amounts as in the less common income section as well. And all you have to do is just enter the amounts that you see. So for duty duty prices and awards, again, less common income, and you select other income not reported elsewhere. And then you just have to enter a description of the income that was received and also what is the total amount that the client will be reporting. So this concludes the income section for basic certification level. If you have any questions, please contact us at freetaxes@kyccla.org or you can call us as well. Thank you so much.